Today we're going to build this modern shoe holder with storage, and I just want to say really quickly thank you to everybody who subscribed to my channel. I'm really surprised by it, and also for all the likes and comments. I guess YouTube decided to put me in people's suggested videos, so thank you to all my new subscribers and all my current ones. Let's go ahead and get started. Thanks for watching. So the first part of this build is just going to be me breaking down plywood and building a box. I cut it down with my circular saw prior to putting it on the table saw just to make it a little more manageable. And I'm also using simple joinery on the box. I just use pocket holes to put the box together. Since the box is going to be painted, none of the pocket holes will ever show up. They're going to be filled in and painted over. Now, I'm not going to go over the dimensions for this box because I didn't have a specific plan that I went from. I wrote down a few measurements for the place that it needs to be in my house, and that's what I'm going off of. So there's going to be an open section on the front of the box, which you'll see coming up, as well as the top part is completely enclosed with a cover on it that opens with European cabinet hinges. And I just added some glue to hopefully add some strength. I don't know if it actually adds strength or not. I haven't heard anything definitive on that, but I always do it because it makes me feel better. Now that's what the completed box looks like. I did use different pieces of plywood, as you can see on the bottom. It's all pine and it's all the same thickness, but some of the pieces I used were kind of just scraps that I wanted to get rid of. Now for the face frame as well as the top, I used walnut that I had lying around for a while. That's my favorite lumber, and so that's what I went with. Plus I like the contrast of the white paint with the walnut. Now I made one straight edge on the walnut and made the other side parallel to that first straight edge. I had some live edge on that I decided to cut off just to make the piece more symmetrical. And I mean, I do like live edge for some stuff, but in this particular piece I thought it looked better to cut it off. Now I cut the pieces to size to fit the top and used dowels to join them together to make a walnut paneled top. I'll tell you, those cabinet style clamps are amazing. I don't know how I made panels before that, just using regular clamps. It does work. I did that for a long time, but I love these things. And I got 6 of them total for $100 on Craigslist. I got 3 larger ones, which I think are like 40 inches or 50 inches, and then these ones that are like 30 inches. So they're amazing. If you find some on Craigslist or you can afford to buy them new, definitely do it. Now I always make my pieces oversized so I can cut off the ends and make them straight. Part of that reason is snipe, which you can see pretty clearly in this video. And also you'll notice that the rounded live edge piece is actually still on there. And there it is again. I decided after the fact to cut it off just to make it, I thought it looked better square. Now I did put a chamfer around the entire top and on the live edge part, but again I cut that off after. Now I'm going to make the feet. I have a taper jig and I'm just using some pine. So I made four of those and cut them to size on the miter saw. And that's what they looked like. I don't know if the camera's angle is weird, but they all look the same. And then I just screwed in from the bottom, also applying some glue prior to painting, and then I filled the holes in as well. And that's what it looks like with the feet on it. And everybody knows how to paint, so I didn't do that for very long on the video. Now if you notice, I didn't fill in those particular holes, and that's because, as you'll see, I put a piece of walnut on the front of it just to give it a little more zazz and pep. And it covered all those pocket holes. Now this is just a little cabinet hinge jig that Craig makes. I'm not sponsored by them or by anybody, but anyway, so I use that to install the cabinet hinges equally from each side. That piece of wood right there is because if I wasn't able to have those cabinet hinges reach the top without putting a piece in there as kind of a buffer, so that's what that is. I guess just like with a lot of my projects, there's some finessing to get everything to work. So I attached that piece first to the cabinet hinges, and then I attached the piece to the top to allow the top to lay flat. And I put the screws through a little bit through that piece so I could mark where it's going to go in the top. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to attach it correctly because I can't see underneath it. Now this is like a storage slash shoe holder, but it's certainly strong enough to work as a bench too. I mean, you could sit on it. I used walnut wood filler to fill in the brad holes from attaching the front piece, and also on the face frame I also used some walnut wood filler. And that is what it looks like when it is finally finished. So all I did is put a clear coat on there after of polyurethane. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.